Today, we do one of the most difficult things in all the world to do. To gather to mourn the passing of a young man. A son, a brother, a friend, a neighbor. Grief is never an easy burden to bear, but never more so when it comes in such an untimely fashion. And we gather in such grief today, carrying a burden that is, in a very literal sense, overwhelming. Now that you're awake, we come today in our grief and our pain and our anger and our confusion and our doubt. And we come to ask God to take that burden from us, and we hope that the shadow of death might be turned into the light of a new day. We will light this center candle as a symbol of the light that was Brandon.
Thank you for coming to share in our remembrance of Brandon. I don't have the words adequate enough to articulate, to express our deep thanks and love for you all. A bit of housekeeping. You may wonder why myself, my daughter, my wife are wearing Hawaiian leis. There is a reason. In Hawaii, when a loved one has passed, the immediate family and the loved one are given very special leis. After the service, all leis are placed in the ocean. These special leis were sent to us from very long and dear friends, the Nortons of Oahu, Hawaii, where we have spent, and Brandon has spent, enormous amounts of good times and wonderful memories. On our next visit to Hawaii and Oahu, we will find a special time and place to lay these leis to rest on the ocean that Brandon loved so much. The black wristbands that you have seen, yes, there is writing on them. You have to look very hard, however it's there. These were not supposed to look like this. Rather, they were supposed to be black and teal blue lettering on them. The company that we had did us an error. We could not get them corrected in time for the service. However, in a way, it's fitting, for Brandon felt invisible at times. Lastly, the poem that Alyssa and I are going to read to you has a very special meaning for Brandon, Alyssa, and myself. We have taken some classes, and this poem was an integral part of one of the procedures. Brandon had the very special privilege of reading this poem out loud in front of his class. His trainer told me that Brandon did this with tremendous talent and made a real impact on his audience. Brandon, son, friend, it is my hope that I can deliver this in the same manner that you made me so proud of. The Dash by Linda Ellis. I read of a reverend who stood to speak at a funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on her tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of her birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time that she spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved her know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the cash, the house. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash.
So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left, and that it still can be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to remember, to consider what's real and true, and always understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger and show appreciation more, and love people in our lives like we never loved before. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special little dash might only last a little while. When your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash?
Listen to the promises that God makes to his people. He says, "Fear not, I am the first and the last and the living one. I died, and behold, I am alive forevermore. I'm the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live. And whoever lives and believes in me shall never die. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my victorious right hand." The lyrics of that song speak of not living your life caring about what other people think about you, but instead what really matters is a connection. And Brandon's family wanted you, as we think about where you are today, to be able to reflect and share what memories you have and how your relationship with Brandon did matter, how his life touched your lives. And if you'd like to say something, we've got a couple mics, and all you have to do is put up your hand, and somebody will bring you a microphone, and you can stand right where you are. Or if you'd just like to give a word to Brandon's family, you do that as well. Is there anybody who'd like to share? Yeah. Wait a second.
Obviously, my deepest condolences to the Campbell family. I have known Brandon, our family has known Brandon since pretty much his whole life. We travel together all the time. I've had the privilege to go on several cruises with their family. We went to Hawaii for 2 weeks this summer. We had a wonderful time. I'm just trying to remember all our happy, good memories. The week before Brandon passed, we were in at Sunrise skiing with him. He had a wonderful time, and we have lots and lots of happy memories, and please try to remember the good times, the Campbell family. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to share?
I'm Brandon's German teacher. I don't think Brandon would have liked the slides very much, especially the one where he's wearing girls' clothes. I don't see him being very happy with that one. And I feel like Brandon's running for public office also with these buttons. But Brandon is a very unique young man, and I will have memories of him forever. But I want to share one especially. Last year, Brandon hosted a German exchange student. We had an activity at Squirrel Lake, and Brandon was there with Steele and with jet skis. And all day he tried to get me out the jet ski with him. And I was very hesitant because I felt that he had something planned, which is exactly what was going on. And eventually he convinced myself and the other teacher that was from Germany to go out the jet ski. And sure enough, he dumped us. So he was going to go with us this year to Germany, and I had plans to dump him in a canal in Hamburg. Brandon will be very missed by many people, and I think that I'm sure he summed it up that if he would have held on a little bit longer, then I think he would have realized how many people really did care for him, and to say that I'm one of them.
I met Brandon as a kindergartner. He was in my kindergarten class, and you could tell his brilliance at that time. I'm not going to share anything, don't worry. And my daughter Brittany is enthralled with their daughter. And so he got to be the little brother she never had. And anyway, so the Campbells are a pure blessing in our family. And again, you could see his brilliance at 5. And he continues to be brilliant.
My name is CJ. I was a classmate with Brandon in 8th grade back at the prep school that was literally 20 feet away from here. And he sat next to me in a lot of our classes, and he always greeted me with a smile and made me feel really good about myself. He was generous. Every time I didn't have a lunch, he offered me some of his gluten-free pizza. And he always always made me laugh, and I have so many things to remember him by, and I can just say that I'm really glad that I knew him.
Okay, so my name is Evan Stabley, and I met Brandon Campbell through Academic Decathlon, and I think I speak for all the Academic Decathlon people that time just ran out with Brandon, and I was just getting to know him, and I wish that I had more time with him. Academic Decathlon to him was a safe haven. He was always in there on the beanbag, on the couch. He was friendly. He accepted everyone, and I just don't know what to say.
My name is Linda Smallman, and I was Brandon's second grade teacher. And as a second grader, that's how I remember Brandon most. When I look at the pictures up here, I still see the little boy with the fuzzy head that always hated it when I rubbed his fuzzy head. In the classroom, and that's where I knew Brandon most, Brandon was everyone's cheerleader. If somebody was discouraged, Brandon was the first one to say something blatantly obvious to make the person feel better. He wore his heart on his sleeve, and I think that was probably one of his gifts, but probably in the end, that was what made things difficult for him. He is never going to be forgotten. He touched many, many lives with his kindness, his caring, and that smile. When I see Brandon in my head, the first two things I see are the smile that was always on his face and that fuzzy little head that I loved to rub, and he would always look at me and say, "Mrs. Smallman, don't do that." And then he'd kind of look at me and smile. So what a blessing he was in my life, and I will carry him and the wonderful things he did for me as his teacher, and the wonderful things he did for the many children, and I'm sure as he grew into be a young adult, the many young adults whose lives he touched. And we need to remember Brandon's legacy of kindness and leave here today knowing that we can make a difference in somebody's life with a very small act of kindness.
When I first heard the story on Red Mountain TV, I truly was touched. Brandon's story really inspired me to treat kids better, and I just want to tell the family how much your son, even though I didn't know him, he brings me to tears. He's truly inspired me, and I think I speak for everyone in Red Mountain to say that they're there for you, and we are one big family, and we take everyone in with open arms, and I wish I would have known Brandon because I just want